want to thank a team in yellow headed by Comrade Redwood, the young persons who formed the Guard of Honor this morning to get me into the arena without any delay. I want to thank you. I also wish to welcome so many of you who voted for the JLP in the last election that are here today supporting the People's National Party. PNP River come down bank to bank. But this year, the river has overflowed its banks. This is a PNP ocean, inside and outside. Just look at the National Arena today. Look at the grounds of Independence Park and beyond today. And I want to thank the comrades, the thousands of young persons here today. I want to thank you for your support and to say to you, you are the future. We welcome you and we are happy that you're here with us today. I also want to thank members of the People's National Party, PNP-YO, and their leaders, and the leaders and members of the Patriots as well who are here in support today. My comrades, my fellow Jamaicans, your presence in your thousands confirms, as the theme of our conference says, our People's National Party is progressive, is strong, and is ready. Let me welcome the new addition to our slate of candidates here, Comrade Lloyd B. Smith. Our candidate that will represent us, Central St. James, a no-nonsense man, a man from the people, of the people, and for the people, a man that will bring significant change and a difference to Montego Bay and the entire parish of St. James. The man known as the governor, Comrade Lloyd B. Smith. Let me begin by congratulating our sportsmen and women who continue to make us proud, both locally and internationally. And I ask conference to recognize the contribution of our athletes and all those who support them, their schools, their teachers, their trainers, their families, their coaches, their communities. We want to commend them today, to congratulate them, and to continue to wish them well. My comrades and fellow Jamaicans, we meet at a time when we have almost come to the end of the year designated by the United Nations as the International Year for People of African Descent. It is a shame and a disgrace that so little has been done by this government, the JLP government, to commemorate this very important year for people of African descent. The year will soon end, and we have not heard one peep about any appropriate celebration for this most significant year, not even a church service. I call on the government that has remained particularly silent. In fact, their silence is deafening, and I'm demanding that the appropriate recognition still be given to this special year. Why is it that this government is afraid of celebrating the people of African descent who make up the majority of our population? Perhaps it is the same reason why we have not heard any calls for investigation of companies who are depending on qualification rather than qualifications to determine who they employ. And I want to make it clear, I love and respect all races, all classes, and all persons, because I'm guided by the principles of our party, going back to our founding fathers and mothers, and in keeping with our national motto, out of many, one people. And as I speak to you today, I'm mindful and will recall very well the charge of our founding father, Norman Washington Manley. He told us that whilst we're a multi-class party with a place for every Jamaican, regardless of class, color, race, or religion, he stressed that we have a responsibility to ensure the elevation of the socio-economic life of the masses of the people and the most vulnerable among us. And so today we honor the memory of Norman Washington Manley and those leaders, founding fathers and mothers, who on the 18th of September in 1938 formed the People's National Party. Friends to join me in saluting Sir Howard Cook, former Governor General, is the last surviving member of the founding group of the People's National Party, which was convened in 1938. I wish to pay tribute to our former Governor General on this, the 73rd anniversary of the launch of the People's National Party. His role in the formation and development of this party is invaluable. Sir Howard and Lady Cook, the People's National Party salute you. My comrades and fellow Jamaicans, it has been the most miserable 4 years many of us have ever endured. Your overwhelming presence here today is a clear demonstration that you are determined to put an end to the reign of this uncaring, reckless, and careless and incompetent government. Your presence here today sends a clear signal that you have had enough of the suffering, the pain, the anguish, and the shame. Now, we have no more time to waste. No more time to spend on this dithering government. It is time to take the firm decisions necessary to rescue this country and to restore the hope. This is, as they say, crunch time. And at this time, my focus is on the people of Jamaica. Not just some of the people, but all the people. The People's National Party. The People's National Party's focus is on the building of partnerships to transform this nation. Our attention is focused on inspiring hope and restoring the trust. We are focused on building this nation and engendering growth and development. There is not a moment to spare. My comrades and fellow Jamaicans, I could spend hours telling you about this uncaring government, but you already know that. I could spend a whole week telling you about the incompetence, missteps, and mismanagement of this government, but you already know that. I could spend months telling you about this government's web of deception and corruption, but you already know that. The truth is, this country has moved past this government. The polls have said it, but even more importantly, you hear it everywhere you go. The people are saying enough is enough. Starboy, I can still remember the faces of the many thousands who greeted us on the bus tour. And I want to thank you for playing a critical role with that. I want to thank you all for coming out, because they came out as well, out of their homes, and cheered us on. The thousands who spoke with us at our divisional and constituency conferences, those who sent us their letters, again, I thank you. Those who called in to the radio programs, those who have commented on the blogs, on Facebook, and on Twitter, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Your presence and your support made us very strong. The people are waiting and hoping for the moment they can make their choice, the right choice, the choice that is progressive, honest, stable, and strong. The clock is ticking. It may seem long, but it will not be too much longer now. When that day comes, the Jamaican people will be placing their votes in the column of the People's National Party. Comrades, there's an urgency in the air. The people are ready for action. Action is now required as we see the international economic systems shudder and shake. The Eurozone has major economic challenges. The United States is still having its fair share. Now, right now, we need to be forward-thinking. We need to draw on the expertise of our nation's brightest and best and the most experienced to project and forecast how the international tremors will affect us. There can be no doubt our own economic foundations have been rocked, but Jamaica's economic circumstances have been made worse by the ineptitude of this government. The economic indicators tells the story. Comrades, listen to me. My fellow Jamaicans, listen. Unemployment in 2007 was at 9.6%. It is now 13%. 13% under this government. Poverty has risen sharply from 9.8% when we left office to 20%, doubled. Exports are down from US $2.8 billion in 2007. It was US $1.3 billion last year. Consumer confidence has plummeted. Foreign direct investment has collapsed from US $1.7 billion in 2007 to US $201 million last year. We have to determine, comrades, fellow Jamaicans, how to address the predicament that this government has got us into. We cannot wait. We do not have a moment to spare. So, comrades, today I will outline a few proposals to address some of the immediate challenges faced by our people. These are the actions the People's National Party proposes for immediate implementation. To solve the challenges in this country requires a short-term national intervention program to nip the difficulties we face in the bud. It also requires a longer-term platform for sustained growth and development. The two must work together. Implementation and action must be the focus of these programs. In the first instance, my government would approach the IMF to redesign and recraft the standby agreement. So that not long after, like former Prime Minister and party leader declared, "Tata bye-bye," we will get ourselves into a position that we can do that again. Comrades, the first program that the PNP is proposing is a national intervention program. The first element of this program addresses the most pressing challenge facing our country, and that is employment. The JLP government would love to keep it a secret that almost 100,000 persons have lost their jobs over the 4 years that the JLP has been in power. But comrades and fellow Jamaicans, while they fiddle and fumble, there have been rapid increases in unemployment among young people, unemployment among women, unemployment among the unskilled, unemployment among graduates of secondary and tertiary institutions. Comrades, you know the importance of having a job. Jobs are avenues out of poverty. Being gainfully employed gives people a sense of independence. It provides security for families and communities. Having a work, as we say, provides each individual with the resources necessary to generate economic activity. This benefits the entire society. Getting a job when they had none restores a person's hope, brings back a family's dignity, and uplifts an entire community. It increases their confidence. And comrades, employed persons are less likely to be involved in deviant behavior and criminal activities. A job can be one of the best forms of family planning in this country. Employment engenders better relationships. That is why we are proposing that a comprehensive emergency employment program be implemented with immediate effect. Fellow Jamaicans, we have called it the Jamaica Emergency Employment Program, JEEP. And I just want to assure you, we will implement JEEPs. Because when we do this, we will be able to drive the country to economic development and prosperity. Through JEEP, the PNP has identified opportunities for job and wealth creation in the immediate term, the mid-term, and in the long term. Through JEEP, we will move the Jamaican people from welfare to well-being, and from well-being to wealth creation. At the core of JEEP is a plan to teach persons to fish rather than giving them a fish. This is what our progressive agenda is all about. JEEP will be developed around 6 main areas: agro-processing, cultural and creative industries, including sports, micro and small businesses development, in particular developing niche sectors, manufacturing, community transformation projects, and information and communication technology, ICT. The elements of the Jamaica Emergency Employment Program include a deepened and strengthened public-private sector partnership geared at job creation, providing funding for micro and small business development with equity funds to help new businesses achieve financial sustainability. At that point, the owners can buy back the shares at the original price. Economic stimulus loans, ESLs, for which the financial institutions would receive tax incentives. Small business loan guarantees. A tax exemption for new investments, which create jobs regardless of the sector of the economy. We need to move away from the incentives which distort investment decisions and create an unlevel playing field. A 5-year tax holiday for all startup business to encourage entrepreneurship.
Talented! Production. I'm in a financial crisis. I'ma need some M-O-N-E-Y. It's Charlie. Chillin' in my born and grow. No sufferation the boy I go through. But me not give up cause I'm multi-talented. If me no reach this year, next year not pass. Cause I'm born as a hustler.
Strengthening small business incubators to increase support to micro and small businesses. Ensuring the provision of funding for the national export strategy. Comrades and fellow Jamaicans, imagine if most companies added one job to the economy. Imagine what that would mean for employment, sales tax, and revenues. The question of funding will be raised. This is about priorities. What is the priority of this government? We need to decide whether we prioritize production and export or consumption and imports. We know what our priorities are. Our government would put the people to work, grow the economy, improve our standard of living, and reduce the national debt. But my comrades and fellow Jamaicans, at the center of our plan is consultation, partnership, and dialogue as our progressive agenda dictates. We would consult, not insult, dialogue, not monologue, engage, not enrage. This is a fundamental difference between a People's National Party government and this particular government that is now in office. And I say in office deliberately, because you can be in office but do not have the power. And I send a message from this arena and the thousands outside to the government today. You're in office, but it is the people with the power. Comrades, this is a national call to action. This is the most important national project that everyone in this nation, big business, small business, medium-sized business, workers, trade unions, NGOs, professionals, and churches must participate in. This is partnership at work. Jeep will be a focus of Parliament. All ideas must contend. Jeep must be a primary focus of our workers' representatives. This must be a primary focus of our employers. Jeep must be the primary focus of all our people at this time. It is not just about photo opportunities. It is about real work and real transformation. When we transform people's lives, we are all transforming the country for better. We know that this can be done. There is no challenge so difficult that together as a people, we Jamaicans cannot surmount. And let me say something. They cannot cross it, but we can cross it. Comrades and fellow Jamaicans, I want to share some specifics with you on Jeep. Here is an example of one particular project, the Audio-Visual Intervention Scheme, AVIS. This single project has been designed to create employment across a wide spectrum of skills and industries and address social challenges like education, lifestyle choices, and community development that we face as a nation. How many of you were shocked by the amount of money you had to spend buying the long list of books for your children this year? How many of you could afford to give your children everything they needed for school? Our spokesman on education, Reverend Thwaite, spoke out about this. He suggested a plan to use the broadcast media, radio and television, to present information from the curricula to students to listen to and to watch. This is an excellent idea. Through AVIS, our children will have access to innovative and interesting ways of learning. AVIS will also be used to stimulate our audiovisual production industry. AVIS will be a public-private sector partnership through this program. Corporate entities will be given incentives for funding and production of educational programs through their marketing and promotion budgets. Micro, small, and medium-sized production houses would design and produce the educational programs. Our actors, actresses, soundtrack developers, producers, graphic artists, technicians, and other creatives and cultural practitioners would be put to work. This will also facilitate the training of inner-city youth, rural youth, and recent graduates who must be employed to the production teams. These graduates will receive basic training through the CPTC. What is needed is the will to implement this program. I have the will. Here is the way, and you know you can trust Portia every time.
Just yesterday, I was hoping for tomorrow, and I trust and prayed it would bring a brighter future. My life has been filled with ups and downs. Oh, oh, well, sometimes I never knew which way to turn. the time gets going, 'cause I never give up my pride, even though I'm broken up inside. I never give up my pride, even though they try to fuss me and try to fuss me and try.
Comrades, fellow Jamaicans, what is needed is the will to implement this program. As I said before, we already have the resources through existing state agencies to implement this program. The human resource already exists. The equipment already exists. The talent already exists. The ideas already exist. We will put them all to work. Another part of the G program is the information and communication technology projects. Sadly, having lost 4,000 jobs in the ICT sector since 2007, my government will have to recover the ground and unleash the potential that we always knew the sector had. We will provide over 1 million square feet of office space for ICT businesses using development funds from the Petro-Carib funds to do this. The private sector will also receive incentives to provide plug-and-play office space solutions to emerging entrepreneurs. My government will utilize its unused fiber optics capacity to generate lower telecom rates. We will provide inexpensive broadband telecommunications to entrepreneurs who specialize in providing ICT jobs for persons with disabilities. And we will provide free broadband to businesses that will employ exclusively persons with disabilities. That is progressive, and that is what the progressive agenda is all about. Another example of how employment can be created in the short and medium term is through agro-processing. The fruits and vegetables we grow in Jamaica must not be allowed to go to waste. We must put our people to work to add value to them. And when I said it, I heard some laugh. They can laugh. There's a difference between ideas and a difference between those who have no ideas. We can dry them, candy them, can them, and use the byproducts in many innovative ways. In 2007, the Brazilian government agreed to assist in training and providing assistance in this area to us. My government will revisit those discussions. Comrades, fellow Jamaicans, while we are creating jobs for people, we must diversify into vibrant new industries to strengthen and transform our economy. We can use our plants and herbs to create nutraceuticals and pharmaceuticals. Simply put, we can heal our economy while helping to heal the world. These are a few projects that can be immediately implemented. And comrades, we have to be bold. We have to be innovative. We have to look for new ways of doing things. As a people, we must believe in our capacity for greatness. We must believe we have the solutions, because we do. We are the sons and daughters of kings and queens, of Garvey, of Nanny, of Bustamante, of Manley, of Paul Bogle, of Sam Sharp, and of Gordon. We are a resilient, courageous, enterprising people. There's no problem that is too great for us to solve. The greatest challenge that our people ever faced was slavery. Our forefathers and mothers fought that challenge successfully, and now we are free to create a brighter future for ourselves. High levels of unemployment are challenges that we must and can surmount. We have done it before, we can do it again.
Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Marcus Garvey words come to pass. Can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Oh, can't get no food to eat. Can't get no money to spend. Oh.
Remember, comrades, in 2007, unemployment was at its lowest level ever. Lowest level. Ask Omar Davies. In 2007, let me repeat it, unemployment was at its lowest level ever in the history of this country. This was done under our watch. We can do it again. We have spoken about those who are unemployed. We have examined what needs to be done to address those problems in the short term through JEEP. However, there are those among us, members of the working and middle classes, who already have jobs. Comrades, even with their jobs, many of these persons are becoming the new poor. They too are worse off than they were 4 years ago. A number of them are one event away from bankruptcy. The wages of many have frozen, and the cost of living keeps rising sky high. Many young professionals, middle class and working families, are losing their houses because they can't keep up with their mortgage payments. A number of them are losing their cars. Many cannot assist with taking care of their elderly parents. Right now, many parents still cannot buy the full set of books required by their children or to pay the auxiliary fees. They cannot afford their health care and medication. As a party of Norman Manley, we have a responsibility to ensure that those senior citizens who are living on their own and cannot afford medical care are assisted. A number of university students cannot pay their fees because their parents lost their jobs.